Welcome to the Digital Pathology Place. My name is Alexandra Zhurav, and if this is your first time here, please consider subscribing. This video is a recording of a podcast interview I did with Dr. Rajendra Singh. Dr. Singh is a pathologist at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York and the founder and creator of PathPresenter. PathPresenter is an online platform for sharing pathology knowledge, making killer pathology presentations, and a lot more. So listen to his story. I hope you will enjoy, and if you do, please share and visit us on our website, digitalpathologyconsulting.com. Hello, Raj. Thank you so much for joining me for the podcast. How are you?
Very good. Thank you, Alex, for this opportunity to let the world know about what we are doing with PathPresenter. I really look forward to this interview.
Okay, so tell the listeners first something about yourself.
I am a pathologist. I presently work as a professor of pathology and dermatology at Mount Sinai in New York. I've been here for 9 years. Before that, I was at the University of Pittsburgh, and I did 2 pathology residencies, one in India in '95 and the other one in the US in 2006. I finished in 2006, and then I did a fellowship at MD Anderson in 2006-07.
Okay.
Since then, I've been practicing pathology and then using digital pathology for a lot of my initiatives.
So when was your first encounter with digital pathology?
When I was at Pittsburgh, the University of Pittsburgh is a pioneer in the use of digital pathology. When I was a faculty there, the other faculty included Anil Parwani, Liron Pentonovich, who are like the who are almost like the grandfathers of digital pathology.
Pioneers, the grandfathers of digital pathology that you see on all the papers, on conferences and on courses. Yes, yes.
And they are the people who actually brought this whole field into the current state that we are, like, everybody's so excited about digital pathology, but they were the first people who got everybody excited about it. And when...
And what is that excites you in digital pathology? What's your most exciting thing about digital pathology?
So when I was in the Department of Pathology at UPMC, they had a lot of different kind of scanners that they were testing, and then they had a lot of different viewers. So everybody got to see these digital slides, and once you look at the digital slides, you can realize the power of it actually, how they can actually transform pathology, not only education, not only the practice, and also the research that is being done with pathology. So it was very easy to recognize the power, and that is what excited me the most about digital pathology. Mm-hmm. There I started collecting a lot of cases from all around the world, and these cases then became a good resource for teaching and promoting, like helping in education of pathology.
Okay, and you are the founder of the PathPresenter platform. Tell me the story of the platform. How did it happen that you started it, and when did it happen?
So when I started collecting all these digital slides for all the interesting cases that we came across, I also started asking a lot of colleagues around the world to share their interesting cases with me actually. So some of them would send glass slides, some of them would send digital slides if they have a scanner, and slowly the collection became quite big. And I used to use this collection for teaching in the department, and also, like, I do a lot of teaching around the world. So when I go for teaching in different conferences in other places and countries, I used to use these slides for teaching. And people were very excited when they saw the digital slides. And when this collection became quite big, we thought we should make this collection available to people all around the world. And from there, the idea of PathPresenter came in, like, how do I share the collection that I have with everybody around the world, and also let people share their own slides and collections with their colleagues all around the world. So what we have built is a platform that allows people to either find the cases that they are looking for within the system, or share their own cases with anybody around the world. So it is like a big public library of interesting pathology cases that can be used for either learning or teaching of pathology.
Okay. And who are you working with to develop PathPresenter? It hosts many slides. How many slides?
Right now, we have around 15,000 plus slides that are available in the open public library. And besides that, there are around 32,000 slides that people have put in their own slide boxes actually, so that they have not shared with the world. So approximately 50,000 slides in the public in the PathPresenter library, out of which 15,000 are available for anybody to like go into the system and view and use them for teaching and learning of pathology.
So it is a massive operation, I think. How many people are working on this project? Who are you working with? Like,
so,
the infrastructure and everything.
Right now, the colleagues that are very closely working with me, one is Matthew Hanna, who's a pathologist at Sloan. He has been involved with building PathPresenter from day one. The other people that have been very actively involved and helped in a lot of the ideas and how it should be, how it should work, how it should fit into the workflow of a pathology department, include Dr. Anil Parwani, Dr. Yagi, and many of my other colleagues from around the world.
Mm-hmm. If for those who are watching us, if you want to share the presentation, we can do that.
Yep. So
for those who are just listening, then keep listening.
Yeah, I'll share my screen with you.
Okay.
Let's share the screen. I think you can see my screen now.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So this is about a little bit about PathPresenter. So it is a platform for pathology education in the 21st century. The vision is like to build a secure, reliable, cloud-based platform that will allow the clinicians to connect, present, and teach from anywhere, and for the intelligent distribution of pathology and other medical data. So by other medical data, we mean radiology images, we mean gross images, PDFs, PowerPoints, everything can be put into the system and distributed and shared with anyone around the world. The whole thing has been built by pathologists so that it fits into the workflow of a pathology department or how a pathologist works, and that is the beauty of the whole platform. What we actually want to build is something, the end goal that we are trying to get to is a platform that any department or any hospital or any organization can use for everything that they want to do with these digital slides. So either whether it is education, whether it is practice, whether they want to run tumor boards, whether they want to do some sort of research using AI and ML tools, everything can be done on one single platform, and that is the end goal of PathPresenter. So we are trying to provide a path to bring pathology as a center of personalized medicine. One thing that I always like you might also come across is like pathology has always been in the basements of most hospitals. Every pathology department usually is in the basement, and people and clinicians don't understand that the power what work a pathologist does actually. Every decision that is taken for a patient, what kind of diagnosis, what is the best treatment for the patient, what is the prognosis for the patient, everything depends on the pathology report. But the pathologists are never they never become the center of the whole thing, although they provide the central piece of information that the patient is going to, that the entire path the patient is going to follow is based on basically. And what excites me about digital pathology is now we have a technology that will actually make pathology the center of personalized medicine. But this is giving an opportunity for pathologists to now show the world and show clinicians that yes, we are the people that are actually driving the entire treatment of the patient, the entire prognosis of the patient. And I think that is a very exciting thing about digital pathology. So we are trying to provide this platform where you can actually use it to enhance your education. You can also enhance your practice and also then share and collaborate for research and analysis of pathology data. So these are the multiple tools that are now currently available on PathPresenter.
Now we are showing a slide for those who are just listening with all the functionalities of PathPresenter. Later we will tell you where to find it.
Yeah, so if you go, if you log into the system, these are all the tools that you will see in the system. Each of this tool has been built in a way that it will allow pathologists and pathology departments and clinicians to work very easily with digital slides. Right now, if you want to upload any digital slide, if you want to upload into any radiology image for either using it for a presentation or for sharing it or for collaboration, you normally would put that into a Dropbox folder, or you would put them into a box folder and then send it to somebody else around the world. The limitation there is these are big storage spaces, but they do not have the viewers or the other features that you would want to associate this information with actually. So you can upload a digital slide into Dropbox, but then you can't see it in Dropbox. So the My Slide box allows you to upload any slide, any radiology image, any PowerPoint, any gross image into the cloud, and also provides you the tools to see those images. So there is a pathology viewer, there's a radiology viewer, there are tools to share the image with just one click. All the tools have been built into My Slide box, so it is like a Dropbox or box of medicine. The My Presentation allows you to bring these images that you uploaded into the My Slide box into a presentation. So you can now integrate PowerPoints with digital slides, with DICOM images, with gross images, and build one seamless presentation by using this tool, My Presentations. All the slides that you put into My Slide box can be shared with the world by putting them into the slide library. So the slide library is an open public library that anybody can access and see all the cases that people are sharing with them. The high yield cases is like a multi-headed scope on the cloud. The best thing for me would be to actually show you how the high yield cases work. The whole power of this will be better understood if you see how it works actually. The quiz module allows people to build quizzes and self-assessments and then share those quizzes and self-assessment with anyone around the world. And these quizzes can also use slides from either your own slide box or from the slide library. The group chat is like a consensus meeting on the cloud. It allows people to form WhatsApp-like group, or a group like a small group that you would form in a WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger. And then within this group, you can then share digital slides and also talk to each other by looking at specific areas within the slide. And the QA module allows you to do quality control within the department. So My Slide box, we already talked about slide library. Let me show you the high yield cases, because I think that is a very powerful tool people like to see. So this is the platform. Anybody can log in, register and log in. Once they log in, these are the tools that they see here. The high yield cases is a collection of cases that have been picked up by attendees around the world. So the GI has been picked by people from Harvard. The GU has been built by people from Ohio State. The breast pathology has been built by people from UPenn. I, along with Dr. Elston, built this tool for dermatopathology. So these are like bread and butter cases that for every resident, every fellow should know when they are doing the residency. So like I picked around 300 cases here that people can either just log into the system or share their, like they could also project this on the screen. When they open up any case, they will first look at the case and try to decide what the diagnosis is. But after they have done that, either on their own or as a group, they can then click on this button, case info, give them the diagnosis, keratoacanthoma. But like when we are teaching in a department, we know the best way to teach is when you are actually pointing out features to a resident. So look at so we have a microscopic description here, which is actually linked to the slide. So if you click on this neutrophilic microabscess, you'll actually zoom into the slide and show the microabscess.
Okay.
So it is like pointing out features on the slide. So like a multi-edit scope actually. So click on this eosinophil, actually zoom into the slide and show the eosinophil to the resident actually. So here's the eosinophil actually. You can also add clinical images. So the clinical images will open up. For differential diagnosis, the slides will show up side by side for comparison. So this is a digital slide, squamous cell carcinoma. And both the slides can be shown side by side actually.
Okay.
So for every diagnosis within the high yield section, you have all the similar features. So for many departments around the world use this for self-learning actually. So and if you go into any of these sections, if you go to neuropath, enter, display. So again, the same way, you first look at the slide, then you look at the case info, it will give you the diagnosis, it will point out the features to you, it can find the features for you, and all the clinical images, radiology images, or radiology images will open up there. So it provides a complete self-learning module for pathology actually. So that is the high yield cases.
Right. So what else can the users do with these images except for using them for self-study?
So like if you want to make a presentation, you can easily make a presentation within the system. So in my department, when we are actually teaching the residents, what we do is we will first put slides within a folder within the presentation, and then share that folder with the residents. So the residents will be able to see all those slides before we start the teaching. Let me show you an example. So,
and if somebody like from outside your institution wants to use them, what are the laws for using them? What are the rules?
There is no restriction for using any of the slides that are in the slide library. So anybody can just come into the system, say I want to create a presentation, and then they can like just import the slides within the presentation. So these are all the presentation that we have here. So I'll just open one presentation for you to see how it works. So here you can see there are multiple digital slides that we have put into this presentation. And you can import any slide from the slide library or your slide box and put them in the presentation. You can also add digital slides and PowerPoints and everything here. So what it does, it integrates digital slides, PowerPoints, radiology images, everything into a single presentation. I'll show you an example of how it works actually.
Okay.
Where the for radiology image, how it would. Because once you see how this thing works, it's a very powerful tool actually. So this is a presentation that once it is done, you'll see how it. So this is a PowerPoint slide. If I click on the next button either here or on my keyboard, it will open up the radiology. So this is a radiology image.
Okay.
So what it has done is it integrated a radiology image into a PowerPoint. If I click on the next button, it's a video that you can integrate into the system. So this is a video that has been integrated into the system. If I click on the next button, this is actually a digital slide now. I can even annotate the digital slides. If I click on the next button, it's again a PowerPoint slide. And now I can even put two digital slides side by side actually. So this is one digital slide. There's a sort of comparison. So within a presentation now you can integrate with PowerPoint slides. You can add DICOM images, you can add digital slides, and everything is going to work in one seamless presentation. And this is when you present like this and when you teach like this, people are very, very excited because now they see the whole power of how you can very easily integrate all these into one seamless presentation.
Tell me how many engineers are working on this platform to maintain this, because the whole slide images are huge and you can seamlessly integrate them and they're
Yeah, so right now we have 16 engineers working out of India. Uh,
Mhm.
let me show, like, and they are helping us out, and then even Microsoft has actually uh, provided a lot of support. So all the slides are on the Microsoft cloud, on the Azure cloud, which is a HIPAA compliant cloud. So anybody who's uploading any slides into the system do not have to worry about HIPAA compliance, because that has been taken care of in the back end by Microsoft.
Okay, great.
So
This is
everything is
great.
HIPAA compliant. Yep, yeah. So we
Mhm.
have 16 engineers, a couple of pathologists and colleagues helping me around the world, and we have Microsoft backing us up with all the storage spaces actually.
Wow. Okay. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
Mhm. And tell me, uh, has there been uh, any failures? What were like the mistakes that happened that you learned from, or what are the challenges?
Yeah, so the main challenge that I've seen, like I'm a pathologist, I'm a clinician, an academician at heart, and I don't know how to write a single line of code actually.
Uh-huh.
But build such a sophisticated platform, I needed a lot of help from many people actually.
Mhm.
How do we get this help? How do we build such a sophisticated platform has been a big challenge and also a big learning process. Uh, Even if I get the best coders in the world, the best software engineers in the world, tell them what we need to build, it is not very easy, because whatever is built has to fit into the workflow. So the
Mhm.
challenge is, how do we get the software engineers to understand how the system should work in a pathology department and fit into the workflow of a pathologist. And that challenge took us a lot of time, lot of like back and forth. It needed very serious involvement of my time, of Matt and Dr. Parwani and everybody who's helped me, their time, to work very closely with the engineers to build something that would easily fit into the workflow of a pathology department, into the workflow of a pathologist.
Mhm. I can very much relate to that. I have been working with engineers on image analysis, on quantifying features from pathology slides and working with them to recognize the correct structures. It is, I think it is a challenge for a pathologist to start working with somebody who's not a pathologist and explain what you mean.
Yeah, very
So,
important, because it has to fit into the workflow. If you build something that is very, very good but does not fit into the workflow, nobody's going to use it actually.
mm, I think it's crucial that computer scientists and pathologists work together in the area of digital pathology. That's
Yeah,
it.
that is one very important thing that you're saying actually. Right now, the entire field of medicine is going in a big transformative phase actually. You look at any part of medicine, pathology, radiology, cardiology, a lot of technology is coming into the system. And I really want my colleague pathologists to understand that they cannot close their eyes and their ears to digital pathology.
Mhm.
Uh, there's a lot of innovative things that are happening using digital pathology that will transform how not only pathology is practiced, but also how our patients are being treated in the world actually, because researchers are building tools that will affect not only the diagnosis but also the treatment of the patient, prognosis of the patient. And I would definitely want all my colleague pathologists to understand that they are in the midst of a transformation of pathology, and they cannot close their eyes and ears. They should very deeply get involved with digital pathology and take the forefront of it, so that patho- so that they can actually be a part of this transformation that is happening in the world.
Definitely. And I think, like you say, it also requires the pathologist to understand enough of computer science to be able to talk to computer scientists and to translate pathology to them. There must be a bridge, and this is one of the goals of this podcast for me, to bridge pathology and computer science. That's what digital pathology is, and like you say, other medicine areas as well.
Yeah, so there's a lot of fear that this will replace me. Like there are many pathologists that worry that digital pathology will replace me, and even clinicians get worried that artificial intelligence will replace me. They should just dispel their fears and get so good at using this technology that because this technology will not replace them, but will actually make a pathologist much better, much more efficient, and also decrease any amount of like the amount of any mistakes that happen. It will actually reduce the error rate. So not going to replace a pathologist, it is not going to replace a clinician, it is actually going to make a pathologist and a clinician a much better pathologist and a better clinician who can help the patient in a better way, not only in making a diagnosis, but also in building treatment protocols and prognostic protocols.
How many years do you think it's going to take, let's say, the US to go digital in most of the hospitals? Will it even happen?
It is like right now it is actually happening here. Like after the FDA approved the Philips viewer in 2000, the Philips scanner system in 2017, and then recently the Aperio scanner just 2 months ago. When we talk, we are also working very closely with the FDA, and we have heard that there is another scanner company that is going to go. They are going to approve it very quickly, actually. So with all these approvals, I talked to a lot of pathology chairs. So if you look at Harvard, if you look at Sloan, if you look at MD Anderson, Dr. Jeffrey Golden at Harvard, Dr. Victor Prieto at MD Anderson, Dr. Klinster, everybody is now getting scanners into the system, actually. And this space is only going to go much faster because as FDA approves more and more scanners, the price of these scanners is going to come down. And as the technology prices come down, people will it will become more realistic for pathology departments and organizations to buy these scanners, because there's a lot of advantage when you use digital pathology. The speed, the turnaround time, the storage cost, because right now storing glass slides and retrieval of these glass slides when you want to make when you want to look at them again, or using them for research is very, very difficult. But digital pathology will make all this very easy now. You can use digital slides for research, for storage is much more easier, for retrieval it is much more easier, for providing second opinions it is much more easier. So a lot of advantages which these chairs can show to the hospital CEOs, basically the people who are making the decisions, that and it is very easy for them to now go and convince that we will be able to get our returns back what we are putting into digital pathology. So I think it is going to happen very quickly in the next 5 years.
The next 5 years, okay. Do you know out of your head how many slides do you digitize per week, per month in your hospital at the moment?
So right now, if you look at Sinai, we have around 3,000 to 5,000 glass slides every day that are produced, actually.
Every day?
So every day.
3,000.
And 3,000 to 5,000 slides every day, actually.
Okay, that's a lot of slides.
And that is just like one hospital in one city, actually. So the amount of data that is going to come online is going to be like a flood that is going to come in the next 2 to 3 years, basically. And when every department starts buying scanners and scanning these cases and storing them, the amount of data that is going to be available to the world is like in petabytes, not in gigabytes or terabytes, but in petabytes, actually. And the power that researchers will get to when they can use this data to build innovative tools is going to transform medicine in a very big way.
Okay. So tell our listeners where to find you online.
Like PathPresenter is very, like if you Google PathPresenter, the first link that is going to open up is pathpresenter.com or pathpresenter.net. It is a free platform. You don't have to pay anything, and I can say that on like live that the public platform that we have on PathPresenter is always going to be free.
Okay.
So you'll never have to pay for it. The slides that are available, that will always be available. We have to find other ways to make money, because this is a very costly affair that we are building. So we have found other ways to make money so that we can keep this going. So, but the open platform, which is pathpresenter.net or pathpresenter.com, is a free public platform that provides you with a lot of cases You don't have to have a scanner to find these cases. You can just go into the system and you start using digital pathology for learning, education, and research by just using this platform. When you buy your scanner, you can put your own slides into the system, but that should not be stopping you from using digital pathology because all the slides are already there. There is no downloading of any software. There is no issue of any firewalls. Everything is on the cloud. You just go into the system and start using it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would really urge my colleagues to start using digital pathology and also make sure that the residents and fellows get used to this technology because there is no turning back from digital pathology now.
Mm-hmm. I know you have other projects going on and other platforms in preparation. Do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, so the immediate platform that is going to go live right now is the publication platform. The publication platform is publications.pathpresenter.net.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have done is we have built a book which is called Dermatopathology for Residents as a model for people to come in and then see how a digital pathology book is going to look like actually.
Mm-hmm.
Because this I can quickly show you the platform also like very quickly.
Okay, show quickly, yeah.
Publications pathpresenter.net. So this is again like anybody can log in. Once they log
Wait a second because we're not sharing the screen.
It's not sharing.
So go down and share again.
Okay, so let's go back here. You can let's see this. Can you see the
Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I see. Yes.
What do you see right now?
I see a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, so I have to share the screen.
About PathPresenter publication.
Yeah, just a second. So I'm going to share the screen.
Okay.
So now I think you'll be able to see the.
Now I see the site, the website.
So this is a site which will allow any pathologist or any clinician to come in and build their own books, but integrate digital slides into the book.
Mm-hmm.
For an example, what we have done is we have built this first book. So anybody who logs in will be able to see this book. So the first book is Dermatopathology for Residents. So what this allows is you can like first build a collaborative team that will be able to build like as the chief editors. And then for every, you can create sections, you can create chapters. And for every chapter, you can invite authors. And for every for every chapter, like this is a chapter that I've authored.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one example of how it works. So this is the introduction. And then for every diagnosis that you see here.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So now you can actually, with the description, you can actually add digital slides. So this is actually a digital slide and you can like you can annotate these digital slides. It will actually point out the features.
Mm-hmm.
You can add, for clinical features, you can add clinical images. Workup. So it is a very interactive book. So because for every condition, you can also add additional histological slides. For histopathological differential diagnosis, you can show slides side by side.
Okay.
For clinical differential diagnosis, also the images will open up side by side for comparison. So it makes it a very interactive book actually. So,
Mm-hmm.
and if you want to show additional slides, you can show additional slides. Let me go to right. This one also does. So like, I'm just trying to find a condition that is going to have additional slides.
And when is this one going to go live? Is it already available or do we have to wait?
No, so this will go online on 1st September actually. So people can then go in and see how the system looks. And if they like it, they can actually come in and build their own books with the system actually.
Okay.
I think they will like this because this is a very nice way to show cases and all that. So this is actually a digital slide where people can see the slide and also see the features.
Mm-hmm.
Additional clinical. So you can add a lot of different features here. So this is the platform that is going to come on live online. The other platform that we have built is ai.pathpresenter.net. So this is a platform for people to actually share their slides for analysis. So people are going to upload a lot of data here and make it available for people that want to do research. So currently, the University of Sydney has uploaded around 16,000 slides of pancreatic cancer into the system.
Okay.
Those slides are going to be available for any researcher around the world to come and use for building any kind of artificial intelligence or machine learning tool by just coming into the system. So if they log into ai.pathpresenter.net, they will be able to find those cases and then use them for any kind of research that they want to do actually.
Oh, wow. And when is this one going live?
This is right now in the works, so hopefully in the next month or two, this will also go live actually. Because the data has already been, the data that we are getting from all around the world. So we got data from Australia, we got data from Japan, we got data from India, and all these data sets are being uploaded into the system. Microsoft has been helping us with that, and these data is then going to be available for any researcher from the world to use actually.
Congratulations, many projects advancing very fast. Thank you very much for showing us all this.
Now, hopefully, like what we are trying to do is bring all our pathology colleagues and researchers together on one platform where they can share, collaborate, teach, learn, analyze everything on one single platform.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today. And thanks a lot for doing so much for digital pathology. That's huge.
It's very, very exciting, and I truly like have a lot of support from a lot of pathology chairs, a lot of pathology colleagues around the world, and like people like you helping me spread the word. Because in the end, this is a very sophisticated technology platform, so it needs a lot of revenue also. Like we need a lot of money to build all this, so we don't have any money to spread the word around. So I would definitely like, when you asked me to show this platform to the world, I was very excited because this is a way to show the world what is available, what they can use, and not like we don't have to spend any money for marketing, because the word of mouth is much more important than trying to actually spend dollars on advertisement. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
I will definitely stay in touch to try to build a version for veterinary pathology as well.
I'm looking forward and very excited about that.
Thanks a lot, and thank you for presenting this to us. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank you very much.
And good luck with all the projects.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. For more great digital pathology resources, visit the Digital Pathology Consulting website and subscribe to our newsletter on digitalpathologyconsulting.com. After subscribing, you will get access to the free annotation guidelines, which will help you annotate slides consistently in all your digital pathology projects. Talk to you in the next episode.